Hello my gamers and tax evaders alike, Jake here, fresh out the fucking shower, and I also got some fresh fucking questions to be asking you, Marvel, or Disney. I'm not even sure if you can tell the difference anymore, who's who. You're fucking, what are you doing? So this video is gonna be focusing on the new Loki show from Marvel. If you guys aren't a Marvel fan, don't watch this fucking video. If you don't want spoilers for Loki, don't watch this video. This video is gonna go with, it's gonna get into a lot of fucking spoilers. It probably sounded like I shit myself. I adjusted in my chair. This video is gonna heavily go into spoilers, so if you're interested in watching Loki but you haven't gotten around to it yet, don't watch this video. So I gotta say, I liked the first two episodes of Loki a lot. It's very cool to be seeing Tom Hiddleston take up the role again. I absolutely have always loved him as Loki. He's fucking born for the role, and he's just a phenomenal fucking actor. But I'm kind of confused at what I'm seeing here with the show. Like I said, the first two episodes, fucking great, had a clear direction, and I thought they were very interesting. I liked seeing the TVA scenes. The TVA is so fucking fascinating. The one scene where Loki sees all of these Infinity Stones just lying around, people using them as fucking paperweights, and he realizes, oh my god, these people are more powerful than Infinity Stones. That was a great fucking scene. Is this the greatest power in the universe? Fucking good job, Marvel! I liked that! The third episode, not so much. It was boring, it was slow, it was awkward, it was poorly written, and I'm not gonna lie to you. My girlfriend disagreed when I said this, and you guys might disagree too. I don't think the actress for female Loki is very good. I think she's not very good. I don't think she's a great actor. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just being honest. I don't think she's that good of an actor. But that's not really my criticism. I just have a lot of open questions about the whole concept, right? So obviously we see the big reveal that the other Loki variant that they're chasing after is female. Now, I didn't really think too much about it. I was like, oh, well, yeah, it's a variant of Loki from, like, another timeline. So, you know, there can totally be a female Loki. And this is not coming from a place of sexism. I totally think that you can have a female Loki in a different timeline. I don't fucking care. But the question that arises is from how they set the show up and how they set up the lore within the show. So the TVA monitors the timeline, the entirety of the timeline, to make sure that there aren't things that go off and go awry, that there's no variation. They're trying to maintain their sacred fucking timeline. That's their whole thing, right? And so in the sacred timeline, the main timeline, which is the timeline that the MCU has been taking place in, Loki is a guy. And I know you're thinking like, no shit, yeah, it's a guy. Everybody fucking knows that. But that's important. Because another thing about the TVA is while they're monitoring the timeline, if they see a variation in the timeline, they get it immediately. They're right fucking there. They're going after it, and they're getting rid of it as quickly as they fucking can. They're on top of things. So if there's some variation, like Loki being born with a vagina instead of a dick, they would catch on to that immediately. I mean, they would know immediately. They're like, oh shit, variation in the timeline. Loki from Asgard was born with a fucking vagina. And they would just go and murder the baby. Because the TVA's kind of fucked up. You get what I'm saying? They would figure out immediately. So, how has she survived into adulthood? You can write it off and say she comes from another timeline, but there are no other timelines. The TVA has been ensuring that there are no other timelines. That's their one job, to get rid of any other timelines when they start to fracture off of the main one. Maybe there's the sacred timeline, and then there's ones running parallel to it, but that doesn't really work either because they call this Loki, the female Loki, a variant. That means that she is a variant of the sacred timeline. So how is it that there is a female Loki that survived to adulthood long enough to become a threat to the entire fucking TVA? How is that possible? It doesn't really make sense because they would have known instantly the moment that she's born, probably while she's fucking gestating, you know? That would cause a fracture in the timeline, would it not? If something like that happened, it would alter the course of history. I think that you would catch on to it, at least pretty early on. I don't know, it just doesn't make, it doesn't make sense to me. I just can't wrap my head around it. I guess, I don't know, man. I don't even want to get fucking speculative here. But I'm hoping the show stays good and continues in the direction that it's going. I hope that Loki ends up back at the TVA, because I think that that's the most interesting part, is seeing him interacting with all the people there. I don't really care for the interactions between him and his variant. Well, I guess they're both variants. But what the fuck kind of nerd shit is that? Who cares? I also kind of get the feeling I know what direction this is going. I think that this is going to end with the TVA falling apart and the sacred timeline fracturing into a million different parts, so that way they can start to bring in other IPs into it, you know what I mean? They'll bring Deadpool into the Marvel Universe, the X-Men, Dr. Xavier, you know, the whole shabam, you know. I'm getting nervous though, because these Marvel shows have not been good. Now, that being said, there's the only other one that they've released is WandaVision. Now, I liked WandaVision when I watched it, but thinking back to it, man, I find fewer and fewer redeeming qualities. It was great seeing Wanda and Vision. I love the two of them together. They're both interesting characters in their own right, and putting them together is so cool. But it wasn't that, it just made Wanda out to be a bad guy. The whole show made Wanda out to be a bad guy. I just didn't understand how it was supposed to. I think we were supposed to agree with what Wanda did and support her at the end, but I was like, what the fuck? She kidnapped an entire town and kept them prisoner for like months. And I'm supposed to be on her side? I don't know, man. I feel like Marvel's kind of falling off right now. I'm worried that Loki is going to start good and then fall off kind of the way that WandaVision did. But we'll have to see. I don't know. Anyway, this will probably be my last video ever, giving it a lot of thought. So yeah, I'll see you guys all in hell.